Hi, I'm Josh, and this is Cars and Joshy.
Hey, welcome to Cars and Joshy. Today I've got the Yukon out by the road. I've got the Flex right here, and I got the El Camino over there, and none of them are 100% right now. So the electronic power steering went out in the Flex, so that's pretty much useless. The El Camino doesn't run yet, and the Yukon, we just got that to upgrade from the Flex to the Yukon, and now it's throwing a check engine light. My wife took the kids to a pumpkin patch, and when she turned the truck off, the fan kept running, and it kind of freaked her out. And so I started looking at it. So the electric fans would stay on about 4.5 minutes after we killed the engine, and that was kind of odd, but it kind of cleared itself up. And then I got in it and drove it around, and the check engine light stayed on. So what I did is I took this little Amazon code reader thing, which is actually pretty good. It's a little Bluetooth app code reader that I got from a co-worker friend of mine. Actually gave me this, and shout out to him. Thanks for this. But I put it on there, and it came up with this code right here, P0128. Basically says it's not getting up to operating temperature to register it. So thermostat, basically. So that's what I'm going to be replacing today on the Yukon. All right, guys, it's super windy out here today, so I'm not going to record a whole lot out here. I just don't like that wind noise and having to try to edit around that sound. I just wanted to show real quick. This is the thermostat housing right here. For this model, it comes as a unit with the water filler neck and thermostat all as one piece. So and then right on the other side of it is engine coolant temp sensor. So I'm gonna go with the thermostat first. If that doesn't work, I might swap out that engine coolant temp sensor, but I think the thermostat is the root cause. Get back up under the hood a little bit more, maybe the wind will stay away. But what I'm gonna end up doing is taking off this intake box, getting that out of my way, give myself more access to the thermostat there. All right, first thing I'm gonna do is take off these hoses that are connected to it, and basically you just push up on there and it'll release it from that tab there, swing it out of the way. Same for that other one on the other side. All right, once I get these hoses disconnected, I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect this boot right here and the one from the throttle body. Once you get the air intake box out of the way, it kind of opens up a whole new world for you. You can clearly see access to your engine coolant temp sensor and your thermostat housing right here. So basically what I'm gonna do, take this hose off. This is the hose that goes up to your overflow tank. Take this off, and I have an idea of how I'm gonna get some of this coolant out of here to minimize the spillage, I guess, and I'll show you what that is. So this is my idea. Got a couple different style of hose clamps here. I'm gonna put one on this hose and one on that hose, kind of further back from the spring clamp here. And then what I'm gonna do is I have a vacuum pump. I'll put this into that nipple where the overflow reservoir hose is hooked up to, and then the other one is going into this bucket right here. And we'll hook up my air compressor and try and vacuum out any of the coolant that's down here to get it a little bit lower than my working area, and then go ahead and be able to unbolt this and drop the new one right in, put whatever coolant I took out right back into the system, and then be done with it. We'll see how well that works out. I'm trying to minimize spillage out here in the middle of the street. So this is the only other thing that I took off. This is the shield that goes up underneath, the rock shield. There's 3 bolts on each side that come off. And I took this off because these things have a tendency to make a giant freaking mess. You take off a hose or something, you expect it to leak and hit the floor, but that doesn't happen. It leaks, hits one of those shields, and runs all the way to the back of the damn car. And so you're making a mess everywhere. So I just took that off. I'm gonna try and line up the drip pan with this and hopefully minimize the mess. All right, what I'm gonna do is hook my air hose up to here and then try and quickly swap this line out with this line, and hopefully it'll suction the coolant into here. Something like that. Well, that idea didn't work out quite as I planned. Just gonna hang this from the hood latch and see how that works out. That's out of the way. Well, that's what the assembly looks like. Go ahead and get that one replaced. New one has the O-ring seal in it, right here. So, pull this one up. So, I forgot to record the install of the new part, but if I did record it, it'd look something like this. You know, go ahead and drop the new thermostat in there, put your bolts back in, tighten them down, and then yeah, go ahead and put your hoses back on and start the fill up process. Alright, I'm gonna top the coolant back off and go ahead and start it. Once again, I forgot to hit record, and so now I gotta do voiceover. But I guess you guys didn't really need to see me putting coolant in a reservoir anyways, so I went ahead and put the air box back on and tightened that down before I started it up, so that way I don't get unmetered air into the throttle body, and it should just get better readings that way. I wanted to get a good shot at the thermostat and see if there's any leaking going on around there, but from the other side I didn't have a good angle once I put the air box back on, so I moved over here. Hopefully I can see if anything's going on once I start it up. Alright, I guess now we just gotta wait for it to get up to operating temperature. See if the check engine light goes off. Looks good so far. Upper radiator hose is cool. Alright, I'm going on another test drive. I let it cool down. When I started it up, it was at, I don't know, maybe about 170 or something like that. So just wanted to show that it didn't peg out at 210 as soon as I started it up. The temperature is actually just creeping up, so I'll continue to drive it, make sure that check engine light stays off. Just made it back to the house. Been driving for 45 minutes. The heat works great, AC works great. I know when it was having issues, my wife was saying that the AC wouldn't work or it didn't get as cold as it was getting. It's definitely working now, and the temperature isn't rising above above where it's at right now. So I'm gonna call it good. Check engine lights off, and no issues. Drivability is great. I'm not feeling anything out of the norm. So we'll call this one done. Thanks for watching Cars and Joshy. Josh out.